YouTube channel. And today we will be discussing about leaders and high achievers and how stress and uncertainty and difficulties might be impacting their decision-making process and which strategies, which skills they can apply if they want to support themselves and how their mental well-being impacts other people around them whom they are serving and how neuroscience and different approaches in psychology can better support mental health and overall well-being of leaders and high achievers. And stress that being experienced by personal, like one person, differs from stress and decision-making pressure that is experienced by leaders. And leaders are much more responsible and they have more responsibilities, difficulties because they are in charge of other people and they are aware that the decisions that are made by them or everyday responsibilities are impacting a lot of more people than just themselves. Therefore, they might be experiencing more pressure, more stress, and therefore their well-being, their support, mental support is not a luxury, it's actually something obligatory because it directly impacts other people. And leadership pressure differs from individual performance pressure in three fundamental ways. First of them is responsibility that is extending beyond self, and leadership decisions are affecting others, their employment, their well-being, their professional opportunities, and the moral weight is different from the presence of individual performance, and it's not reducible to it. And secondly, visibility is elevated. Leaders operate under sustained observation, evaluation by multiple constituencies simultaneously at the same time. This can be peers, colleagues, social media, external stakeholders, and each of them interpret the leader's behavior through their own lens and interests, and this causes even more challenges and difficulties for the leaders. And the third one is isolation is profound. Most of leaders, they are trying to stay strong, resilient, and they don't want to seem weak, and this causes suppression of their emotions. Maybe all the time trying to be strong makes it even more difficult for them to cope with their feelings, because suppressing in the long run causes even more challenges and more difficulties, and it can be more difficult to regulate their emotions. Therefore, full complexity of what is being navigated is genuinely understood by very few people in the leaders' environment, and maybe for the leaders it's difficult to find people with whom they could share their personal struggles or challenges and feelings. And isolation, the absence of peers who understand the complete picture, is one of the most consistently reported and unacknowledged challenges of leadership. So, what is the neurological impact of leadership stress? When being under stress for a very long period of time, this can impact the brain's cortisol levels, and when the brain is under stress for a long time, it can impair cognitive structure, and for instance, degrading the nuanced social and emotional judgment can be caused by it. And effective people management requires impairing the creative problem solving that was helping the leaders before. And there is a constant demand for constant decision making, constant cognitive functioning in high levels. And when the leaders feel stressed, frustrated, exhausted, burnout, these cognitive functions may be decreasing, and this constant demand might be causing even more frustration and challenges. Therefore, reducing empathic accuracy that is foundational in effective interpersonal leadership, and the implications of which can be poor decision making or managing leaders' stress state, is not a personal preference issue, it's a strategic performance imperative. That's why taking care of yourself, finding some time to rest, and finding ways and routines and habits that genuinely help you to relax, to rest, are obligatory and really important. And organizational cost of leadership stress is not merely the leader's personal suffering, it is reflected on all the domains of leadership, and also has inevitable impact on other people who are around them. And another challenge that leaders are often experiencing is identity threat. Uh, a lot of leaders might have some thoughts when they are failing or when they are having difficulties, that it's their fault, that if they have made a mistake or if they started to perform less than before, that this means a threat to their identity. And noticing those thoughts and seeing them from different perspectives, and for instance asking yourself what you would think about the person if they were having similar challenges as you, or if they made a mistake or their productivity has failed. Does this really mean that it's related with your identity? Does this really mean that you are a failure or you are not successful? Are certain strategies, changing perspective is one of strategies that might help the leaders, to notice thoughts about themselves that they don't necessarily reflect the reality, or sometimes these thoughts may not be always useful for them to achieve their goals or to stay productive or to recover. Therefore, being able to notice these thoughts about themselves, about their identity, and being able to take steps from the thoughts and to start acting aligning with their goals, aligning with their preferred identity, is one of strategies that can be applied to help the leaders. For instance, there are certain mindfulness meditation strategies, or journaling is one of ways of creating space between your thoughts and yourself, and noticing whether these thoughts are serving your goals or they are holding you back, and thinking about your other times, evidences of your success. For instance, when were some difficult times that have, and during those times you were able to navigate challenges successfully, and you were able to take care of yourself and to create this balance of work and personal life, and what helped you during those times, which environments, which people, which routines, which qualities did you use, which resources did you use to support yourself. And becoming aware of these resources and your own capabilities can help you to find new ways of resting and supporting yourself, and also becoming aware that whatever you are experiencing right now, this doesn't define your identity, this doesn't define who you are. And there are certain times when we are able to succeed and when we are performing better, and there are certain times when our productivity decreases, or sometimes we might make mistakes, and this is the part of being human. And all the feelings that we have, all the thoughts that we have, actually are carrying some information about factors or fields that we care about, and just providing us some information about what we really need and what is needed for us to succeed, to be healthy, to have balance, and to burn out less, maybe to feel more exhausted. So when we start to see the thoughts that we have and feelings that we have from this lens, instead of blaming, criticizing ourselves, when we are approaching ourselves with compassion, kindness, and trying to use that genuine kindness and compassion that we use for the others, for ourselves as well. According to research, people were more successful and they were recovering faster than those who were merely self-critical or harsh towards themselves. And also noticing these thoughts about identity, about what your mind is telling you about your failures or challenges, would help to expand your self of self and notice times when you are able to succeed, or other spheres, other fields, your other roles where you can succeed despite the challenges, or you can take care of yourself well even during times of stress. And then you can carry those evidence of success into different areas, into your leadership, into your parenthood, into your career, or while you are trying to learn something, while you are a student, and you can see what change it can create. So for instance, and also after being able to notice your thoughts and your feelings, you will have a more opportunity to step back and to take step aligning with what matters for you. For instance, if you value contribution, if you value if you value curiosity, if you want to be a kind person, if you want to be a contributing person, a courageous person, you can take the smallest step towards that version of you that whom you want to become. And of course, there will be some uncomfortable feelings and thoughts. For instance, if you are trying to rest or if you are trying to do certain things that help you to relax or to take care of yourself, maybe you will have some thoughts such as you are losing your time, that you will not be on time, that you will not have any time left to do your tasks. However, staying with this discomfort and taking small steps towards your well-being, towards your health, can help you to create more balanced life and work and life balance. And according to Bruce Evolier at the University of Washington, they have developed most extensively researched model of authentic leadership characterized that is characterized by self-awareness and internalized moral perspective, balanced processing of information, and relational transparency. So according to this research, leaders who were able to understand their own feelings and were able to reflect their feelings or genuinely share their feelings or uh, challenges were able to create better connections with the people, with their colleagues, with the people whom they are serving, and this was creating a more positive environment in their workplaces. And another research across 99 samples found that authentic leadership significantly predicted follower trust, satisfaction, organizational citizenship behavior, and performance producing effect sizes comparable to or exceeding transformational leadership models. And ACT also encourages the leaders to be open to their own feelings and sometimes to share the feelings and to be authentic with the others, and believes that uh, this creates more healthy environments because when you are opening up with your challenges or feelings, you are a kind of modeling uh, a preferred behavior, and this creates an environment of trust and collaboration, and other colleagues will also be encouraged to open up about their own feelings, about their challenges, and this would create more positive environments where people can share about their challenges and difficulties that they are experiencing, and will be able to succeed in creating a team environment. And Bryn Brown's research about vulnerability in leadership, also synthesized in Dare to Lead, provides compelling empirical grounding for what had been primarily theoretical and arguments about leadership vulnerability. And Brown's finding revealed that the leaders most trusted by their teams are not those who project the most competence or certainty. They are those who can acknowledge genuine uncertainty and difficulty while demonstrating principled, valued grounding decision making. And teams are exclusively sensitive to authenticity. They detect when their leaders' apparent confidence is performed versus genuine, when expressed certainty is real versus compensatory. And the leader who is able to say, I don't know the answer to this yet, or here is how I'm thinking about it and what I'm going to do to find out, consistently generates more genuine trust than the leader who assumes and performs certainty about genuinely uncertain situations. And decision quality under the pressure. Annie Duke's research on decision making found that distinction that is critically important for leaders under pressure. Decision quality and outcome quality are not the same. A good decision made under genuine uncertainty can produce a bad outcome because outcome involve a lot of other factors beyond decision makers' control and knowledge. For instance, a bad decision can produce a good outcome because of environmental factors, maybe, or other people's contribution, whereas sometimes a good decision can create bad outcomes because there are a lot of other factors that are involved. So, becoming aware of these factors that you can control and certain factors that you are not able to control can create a sense of relief for the leader because they are not able to control everything. There are certain things that they can do in order to influence the outcome. However, not everything can be controlled. And decision fatigue leadership. Roy Baumeister's decision fatigue research has found that large body of subsequent work demonstrate decision-making quality degrades progressively across the day as the shared cognitive resources that support executive function. And this means that during certain periods of day, people are able to have better decision making, and as they get exhausted or tired and their resources are depleted, some mistakes or errors are done during certain times. And becoming aware of your times when you can function well, when you can do better, or when you have the best performance times can help you to avoid maybe decision fatigue, mistakes, errors, and to use that times when you can perform well at your best, to use your energy and your talents, your resources at times when you need to use these resources the most. For instance, medical errors increase in frequency across hospital shifts when the colleagues are changing their time, and quality of organizational decisions made by leaders who handle dozens of choices daily degrades predictably towards the end of the day. For instance, according to leadership implication, high-stake consequential decisions should be concentrated in peak cognitive windows. For most leaders, mid-mornings are the most ideal period, and these are protected from accumulated decision fatigue or a full day of lower-stake choices. Barack Obama, for instance, used to wear the same two-suit styles specifically to eliminate trivial decisions and preserve cognitive resources for consequential ones. And this is decision architecture, not trivial detail. Therefore, becoming aware of times during the day when you can perform at best, when you have the best cognitive functioning, and using those times for the most difficult decisions or for the tasks that require the most cognitive load can be another strategy that can help you to perform better, to be more productive. And appropriate use of counsel. Also, successful decision makers, leaders are those who are able to use their resources, social factors, and those who not just rely on their own knowledge or wisdom, but also are able to use environmental resources, social resources are more successful. For instance, according to James Sarvik's Wisdom of Crowds, provides theoretical and empirical foundation that diverse groups with independent information consistently outperform even the most expert individual decision maker. In that sense, for instance, Canadians are quite lucky because a lot of people from different backgrounds, nations are living here, and they are a source of richness, and their views can be used in leadership or in other different areas in order to help the nation to succeed, to have better decision making, and for leading, for management. Therefore, not just assuming that you know everything, but being able to use others' perspectives and asking other people's opinion who are experts in this field can help with leading better, with having better outcomes, with being more productive, and being less burnout and exhausted. I hope that this webinar was useful for you. I briefly tried to share certain research on this field and certain strategies from acceptance commitment therapy that are used in leadership. If you want to learn more about these strategies, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any upcoming webinars. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next videos again.